What you cooking, Mom?
Cut. Fucking cut.
Now I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go purchase one. That's the problem.
This ain't for me. I was like,
the background is mom and dad was addicted to crack cocaine. Okay. Right?
All praises to the Most High. Hi, how are you? Welcome to another episode of the Doc Holliday Show, where we love to uplift black men, black women, black teen, black child, black royalty, the magically melanated. Today, got joined by a young, magically melanated royal. The brother, the bruh, all of that. Cam Kinley. Cam, what's up, man?
Man, nothing much. Can't call it, man. I appreciate you for having me on the show.
No, I appreciate you and who you are and what you're doing. Now, I know who you are, man, but give the world, because, people watch us on the world.
Yeah, most definitely.
All over Earth, they watch us, bro.
Most
so
definitely.
Give the people an introduction. Tell them who you are, man.
Yeah, Cam Kinley, man. Born and raised Memphis, Tennessee. Graduated from Lausanne Collegiate School here.
He's
in
a baller, too.
Yeah, 3-sport athlete over there, all state and all sport, except for basketball. But track and football, all state. Had offers to all the Ivy League schools coming out of high school, but I went to the Naval Academy. At the Naval Academy, I was the class president, played football at the Naval Academy, team captain. After that, had a chance to sign with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and then now I'm an intelligence officer in the Navy.
Intelligence officer in the Navy. What we need? Tighten up the mic. Okay, we're good. Keep recording now. Don't stop now. Like that. That way. That way. That way. How about that?
This good, right?
Cool. We good? ISF press. Anyway, yeah, talk about that, man, because I remember you coming out the Naval Academy and going to Tampa Bay. You had a little issue.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about that issue that you had.
Man, so I signed with Tampa Bay. It was May 1st. Graduation was May 28th. So just a little bit of background. The Navy got a policy, DTM. I think it's like 0911, something like that. I used to know the number by heart. But the policy allows you to delay your commissioning, which is your commitment to the service, to go play if you get a professional sports contract. And then after you get done playing, you go serve. So I wasn't the first one to use this policy. This wasn't like we made this policy for Cameron Kinley. I had a quarterback that went. And then the year I came out, it was 3 kids from three kids from Air Force and another player from West Point. All of them had no issue with it. But then when it was time for me to get the policy submitted, I went down there to rookie mini camp. Already was down there balling, pick 6. Like everybody was like, oh, he going to make the squad. Get back up there to graduation to give the speech. They called me in. And we like, yeah, we're not going to let you go play football. Straight like that. No appeal, no reasoning. The people in charge just said no.
I mean, I know the reason. You're a little bit too bright. You're a little bit too brilliant, man. I mean,
it's crazy, though, because my mom and dad, they always taught me, do everything the right way.
Yeah.
And so at the Naval Academy, I made sure, stayed out of trouble, no conduct, no honor. Scholar, I was on all the academic lists, class president, involved in everything. Team captain, you know what I'm saying? Just doing everything by the book, no blemishes. And then for that to still happen, it was like, yeah,
I know, but as you get older, you will learn, young royal. Sometimes you do things by the book, but then there's another book they don't let us see. See that book. You going thing by the book they let us see, but doing that, man, not being able to pursue your professional football goal and dream. Talk about how that had you feeling emotionally, because I know it had to been depressing and a little discouraging.
Yeah, man, it was tough. I've been playing football since I was 4 years old. And so the NFL was always a dream, always a goal. So to finally be able to reach that point and overcome, like I was a 2-star recruit coming out of high school, underrated, lost my starting job my senior year at the Naval Academy. So I thought football was over. And so I kept grinding, kept trusting in myself, kept believing, trusting in God. And to finally have all that hard work pay off and to get it snatched away, I just felt like it was unfair, and I'm not one to pout, complain, but this was something I really couldn't understand. And after I got it out to the media, I was doing 6 interviews a day, right? So CNN, Fox News, Good Morning America, ESPN, you name it, I'm everywhere, right? And now I got people in my messages, people saying this and that about me, making all these comments, and I just want to play ball and then serve my commitment after. And it's not like I said, it's not like I was trying to do something any different than anybody else. I wanted the same opportunity that everybody else was having. And so, it affected me mentally a lot for a while. I'm lucky to have been home for most of it. So I had my family, my support, my village around me, bring me back up, and I kept my faith in God. And eventually I was able to overcome all that, you know what I'm saying? But it was tough.
Comments like what, bro? Comments like what, young boy?
Man, you know what I'm saying?
You should have forwarded them to me.
You know what I'm saying? You made a commitment, this and that. Who do you think you are? Whatever. And I'm like, man, I don't feel like I'm anybody special. It's just this is the rules. I'll show you what it says. They told me I was going to be able to do it. They let me get on Good Morning Football and give an interview in my uniform. Yeah. They let me do all these media.
That's good recruiting.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then when it's time for me to actually go fulfill my dream, we need you back. I'm like, man, that don't make sense. And everybody was trying to say, you know, you're valuable to the Navy. But that's people who don't understand how the military works. Yeah. Like, one little ensign is not going to stop the Navy from functioning. And so, yeah, it was frustrating.
And how was your relationship with the Navy?
Yeah.
Because you were kind of going, I guess not really going back and forth with them, but you trying to pursue something that you did. And it's part of policy that, okay, you said we can go. But how did that affect your relationship with Naval brass at all?
Not any that interact with me directly, right? Okay. So I would always hear about different people who were saying comments. Some people I went to school with, some people who worked at the school, but they never came to me directly. Everybody I came across was for me, supporting me. Even when the Secretary of Defense called me and the chairman of the Joint Chief of Staff, which is the highest ranking person in the military, General Milley, when he called me, he was all for it. And so I'm trying to figure out, so where was the disconnect? If y'all been for it the whole time, who was the disconnect that didn't forward the paperwork up to you all? So that was the biggest frustrating thing, because everybody I came across was all for it. Even when I went back into the Navy, back in the intel school and all that stuff, all my classmates, all my instructors, they loved it, you know, and they was like, that was messed up what they did to you. Now, that's what they're telling me, of course, you know, but at the end of the day, I feel like I had more support than not, Who
was the president at the time? Trump?
Nah, Biden was in office.
Oh, he was okay. Obviously,
it was
don't let him go. Okay, damn, they just messed up my damn joke with Trump. I got you.
Yeah, now Biden was in office, so we had a acting Secretary of the Navy at the time, Secretary Harker. He's the one who declined it, and then he got out, and a new secretary came in, and everything changed. So, I mean, it might have been him. I don't know him. And it's actually crazy. He was at our graduation, so he declined it on Tuesday. We graduate on Friday. So I was shaking his hand and stuff, and I'm like, he probably don't even know that I'm the guy. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how easy they be like, no. Yeah. But yeah, so that's how it worked out.
So where are you now? You've gotten over that, got through that, and I see now you're well-spoken young man. I love what you're doing. I love the message that you put out. Where are you now? What you got going on now?
Yeah, so I just graduated from Intel school, so now I'm about to head out to my next duty station out in the state of Washington. So I'll be doing some stuff out there. I can't get into it too much, but right now I'm just at home, you know, enjoying some vacation days. And every time I come home, I want to give back to the city, give back to the community, give back to the youth, and just pour into them the lessons that I've learned. And so when the whole football thing didn't work out, I felt disappointed, felt like a failure. But over time, I realized that God gave me a story. Yeah. God gave me a platform, and it's up to me to use that to inspire other people. So that's what I try to do when I'm in the city.
And I want to reiterate, Cass, give me on two shots. No. He said, now, look, Navy, Army, all of y'all. He said he's going to do intelligence. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
He said he can't get into it. And trust me, when this is over, I didn't ask him to get into it. And I said, don't be coming at me. Because my oldest daughter's in the Army. She's done intelligence. Okay. And I never asked her anything.
Yeah, nah.
She's like, Dad, no, I don't. I mean, she didn't offer it up. And I was like, I don't even want you to tell me where you're going, but just, I mean, that's a pretty big deal, man. Yeah. Just talk about your evolution and your growth in the armed forces, because you know what you do, man, and what you all do is extremely important.
Yeah, I mean, coming out of high school, like I said, I had offers to all the Ivies, a couple FCS and whatever other schools, and a lot of people were pushing Ivy League on me, especially coming out of Lausanne, real big academic school here in Memphis. It was like, yo, you got to go to Harvard, you got to go to Yale, you got to go to Princeton. And for the longest, I thought I was going to Princeton. I took my official, loved it, but then I realized I was only going to go there for the name, right? That wasn't where I felt most comfortable or whatnot. And then for me, it's always been bigger than me. And I knew going to the Naval Academy, it was obviously clearly bigger than me because I'm representing a bigger cause, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, black people, we feel a certain kind of way about the service because it's like, why would I go fight for this country?
Yes, we do. I mean, but I understand it though, you know, but I feel
for me, it was like, man, I'm not fighting for the country. You know, I'm trying to get a seat at the table, right? Because I'm trying to be that representation and show other people the opportunity that you have at the Naval Academy, where you go learn, you develop as a leader, you develop as a scholar, and if you play sports as an athlete, all in one. It's not a lot of schools that are doing that. When you graduate, you got a guaranteed job in the military, making like $65,000 a year. That's a best kept secret. You know what I'm saying? So for me personally, it was an adjustment being in the military and having to balance the football, the grades, and I think just being at the Naval Academy, being away from home, I was able to mature into the person I am today because I didn't have mom and dad down the street. They're 13 hours away, you know what I'm saying? And I'm having to figure out things on my own, pay the bills on my own, all that type of stuff. I was able to grow up a lot faster being in the military, and coming home, being with some of my friends that I used to hang around. I could see the gap early on, and I was like, okay, I made the right decision.
Now tell me, man, how do you balance that in the Naval Academy and doing that? Because I know, man, when you playing regular football, college football, bro, they keep you busy all the time, man. People think it ain't no off season. You ain't going to school for free. Yeah. But I would expect that you all responsibilities and commitments are even more when you still gotta, I guess, train and do naval things 100% on top of doing football. So talk about the pressure and the stress with that, man.
Yeah, I learned how to prioritize. And so it's hard for a college student because you're cutting out a lot of things that you see all your friends doing. But at the end of the day, at the Naval Academy, you don't have time to do everything that everybody else is doing. Yeah. So at an early age, I learned how to do what's important. My mom always told me, you make time for what you want to make time for. And so if it's important to you, you're going to make time for it. And so I would have to look at my schedule and be like, okay, cool. Yeah, they playing a game, whatever. They trying to go here. They kicking in somebody's room, but I got a test tomorrow, got an essay, got this homework, you know what I'm saying? Then I got to go do this military commitment, this military duty, whatever that might be. Then I got to go get and watch some film, you know what I'm saying, get the playbook. And so it's like, I don't have time for that other stuff. And so every day when I got back to my room at the end of the day, because it was long days at the Naval Academy, you go to class from 7 to 4, then you in football from 4 to 6:30. Then after 6:30, you go eat. Now you in your room at 7:30, 8, and you getting back up in the morning at like 6. So you really got from about 8 to 12 to get stuff done. So that 4 hours, I would always take an hour for myself to just relax, debrief, get in the word, whatever it might be. And then from there, it was like, okay, what's most important? What's next most important? And then if I didn't have time for it, then it was like, okay, that's not going to be that important. Sacrifice it. And so I just make sure I do that every day, got a routine. And once I got in a routine, it was clockwork.
Now, how do you convey that message of discipline, perseverance, commitment, staying focused to other young Royals your age, man? Because it's easy for all of us to get distracted. I mean, I applaud you for being able to do it. Yeah. It rolls off your lips like it's easy as hell. It ain't that damn easy, man.
Nah, it's not.
So how do you convey that message to other young Royals your age, man, to that the prioritize staying focused?
Right. So where there's no vision, the people will perish. That's what the great book says. And so if you see yourself struggling with discipline, you see yourself struggling to stay focused, that means you haven't recognized your purpose and your goals. So the number one thing that I try to get people to do is, look, write down your goals, write down your purpose, right? And write it down. Don't just say it, write it down and look at it. Okay, these are your goals. This is your purpose. This is what you say you want to do. Now you have to see what actions align with where you want to go. Because a lot of things that I try to instill in the youth, especially in our community, is that everybody has the potential to be great, right? And people can realize they have the potential to be great, but not everybody actualizes that potential. And so I try to help people get from realizing, being aware that they have that capability to actually actualizing their greatness and fulfilling and achieving their dreams and goals. In order to do that, you got to change your habits. You got to change your behavior. You got to change your patterns of life, things that align with where you want to go. And it's hard because it's not going to be what everybody else is doing most of the time. And everybody wants to conform to what everybody else is doing, which is what we see a lot of times in our community. But those who are truly able to separate themselves are the ones that are able to make those tough changes where they don't fit in and they take that path that's least traveled, but they get to where they want to go.
And I mean, I love where your mind is. I love your spirit. I love all of that, man. Talk about your parents, man, because they are the ones that strong black man, stroke black woman. They are the ones that instill this into you. Right? So talk about how important their love and support is in their teaching.
Oh my goodness, man! It's like, so I'm gonna start with my dad. My dad's from Paris, Tennessee, small country town,
Very country.
Very country.
Not Paris, France.
Nah. That's what everybody used to say, too. They used to think I'm going to Paris. Nah, Paris, Tennessee. Yeah. And so my dad, that's where I got my work ethic from. My dad is a workaholic. Like, he's been working his whole life. And, like, football was what really developed our relationship. He started his own little league team in the city, Memphis Falcons. That's where I started playing in the WJSA league. But he worked the night shift, right? And so I'd be at school all day. He'll pick me up from home to go to practice. The only time I saw my dad was football practice, right? So that's how we develop our relationship. After football practice, he'll drop me off at home. Now he's going to work. Yeah. And so I understood at an early age the sacrifice that he was making for me. My mom was the same way. She's a very smart lady. I feel like that's where I get a lot of my intellectual capabilities from. Not knocking my dad.
I'm going to say, Pop's going to be hold
not
on,
knocking
boss.
my dad. Not knocking my dad, but my mom's a very smart woman, and she decided to go back to work as well because they wanted to send us to different private schools. So I got 3 other siblings. We had all 4 in private school. Real tough, right? So at an early age, I was like, they don't have to do that. They're sacrificing doing that, working overtime. I owe that to them. And they just always raised me up the right way, like taught me what to do as a young man, taught me how to treat young women, taught me how to treat my elders with respect, all that type of stuff, and having a good moral compass. So I owe it all to them, instilling that in me at a young age.
Now talk about your siblings. It's three y'all. I mean, talk about your siblings, man.
Yeah.
I know one.
Yeah.
Because you know what I'm saying? But yeah, talk about your siblings, bro.
Yeah, so my older brother, Jonathan Brown, we got different dads, man. He, most talented football player I've seen in my life, right? Yeah. And so he was truly my role model when I was growing up in the house. Like,
the court.
Because he's 30. I'm 23, so 7 years apart, right? So I was always looking up to him, being the water boy when he was at Christian Brothers playing football.
Balling, too.
And then he went to Illinois. You know, I'm literally in love with my brother, right? But he was always a talented guy, man, hard worker, and he always took care of us. Like, Jonathan's always going to make sure we straight, and I appreciate him for that. But he was hard on us. He was tough on us. And then my sister, she's 2 years older than me. She graduated from UT Knox. She works, she's the head of the aftercare situation at Lausanne. I can't remember the specific title. But we was always competitive in the grades. Like, she's really smart, 4.0 and all that. So we competing every time we get grades. We showing them to our parents. Oh, you got to be this and that. You know what I'm saying? So she held me accountable in that realm. And then my little brother, 2 years younger than me, plays football at MTSU. I was kind of trying to set the example for him. And since we were so close, we used to butt heads a lot, used to fight all the time. And I look back and I regret not really soaking in the time we had together. But when we got to high school together and we were carpooling to school and it was just me and him, we really got a chance to build those relationships over the past couple of years that I was here. And then even when we come home now from school, even when I was at school, we'll be sending film to each other, critiquing, texting each other after the game. If I have a bad game, he's going to be the first one to text me. You know what I'm saying? Telling me to pick my head up, let me know who I am. What's crazy is my little brother. So after I got done playing football at Navy, I lost my starting job halfway through the season. Didn't play the rest of the season. We were playing Army at West Point, right? I get in the last 2 snaps of the game. The game's already over. They're just taking knees. They got the victory secured. And I remember walking across that field, and I'm just thinking about the fact I've been playing football since I was 4 years old. There's no way it's going to be over like this. But I didn't believe I was going to be good enough to make it to the NFL, right? So I was like, it's pretty much over. I got home, and I'm working out with my little brother still because he's still playing. I'm like, yo, you think I need to go try to get to the NFL? He said, yeah, you put in way too much work to let somebody else dictate your ability. Yeah. He said, you don't want to live with that regret. So he's truly the reason I wouldn't even chase that dream and had that opportunity with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And so that's kind of how our relationship has grown over the years, for sure.
How it was when you got to camp? Now, I can tell you about my experiences when I first got to Rams camp. You know, all praise to the Most High. I was able to make it in, a couple of years. But, I mean, cats don't understand it. It just ain't that. Once you get to that level, it's a whole different situation.
It's a whole different game. And so, like, when I got down there for rookie mini camp, it was just rookies. And I was already nervous. Yeah. Being an undrafted guy, getting in there. But I was able to make some plays, so my confidence was back up. When I went through the whole thing with the Navy, it wasn't working out like I really could have been if I knew I was going back down there. And so I got the call that I could go back down there 10 days before camp. And they were like, we need you to make this weight, conditioning test, XYZ. So I'm focusing on getting these couple pounds I done put on off, making sure I'm in shape, going against a couple high school D1 receivers in the DMV area, good players, but it's a different story when you line up against Antonio Brown, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and you got Tom Brady throwing them the ball. So going back to camp, going back down there to Tampa, man, I was struggling the first week and a half, 2 weeks, and it took me a minute to get my feet under me and get my confidence, man, because the speed of the game was just real. And people are fighting for millions of dollars. It's not high school. People want to play football to be cool. College, people play football to go to school. And NFL, people trying to actually feed their family. It's millions of dollars on the line. So everybody's trying to make the team. We might be joking on the sideline, but at the end of the day, I'm competing against you. And they're going to let that be known. So it was a whole different story.
I know. I tell this story all the time, man. We was in the preseason game against the Kansas City Chiefs, and I ain't gonna even lie. I missed the defensive end on purpose because I wanted to run. I wanted the quarterback to dump it off to me. So he dumped it off to me. I turn around, bro. It's like 20 yards of just free green grass.
Man.
Now, when I was in college, I would have picked up about 25, 30 yards. Bro, I got about 10 yards down the field. Everybody was there. Defensive linemen, offensive linemen.
Everybody.
Free safeties. That's what they don't understand about the speed of the game, man. But I'm glad you were able to have, that experience. What have you taken from that experience? Because I can tell you right now, only like 1% of the people actually make it to the NFL.
Yeah.
And for you to get to where you got, mini camp, training camp, don't too many people get those opportunities. So is that something that you hold on to give yourself credit for? Because that's a blessing to be able to get that opportunity.
100%. And at first, I didn't, right? Because I was real ashamed. Felt like I was a failure. Felt like I was a disappointment. Yeah. Felt like I proved to everybody who said I should have just went to the military right? So I was dealing with a lot of mental stuff for a while. Because even when Tampa Bay cut me, it was like, come clean out your locker. I said, I don't want none of that stuff. Yeah. Now looking back, it's like, I wish I would have took all of it.
All of it.
But it was real tough to deal with. But then I had to really have a sit down with myself one-on-one. Like, you was a part of that 1%.
Yes.
Like, regardless of what people say, like, it's not too many people that put on the NFL jersey, played in the NFL preseason game. Your parents got to see your last game. You got 6 tackles in a preseason game against the Bengals, who ended up going to the Super Bowl that same year. You know what I'm saying? You were sitting in the meeting room next to Tom Brady every day. You competing against Antonio Brown, Mike, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, don't take that for granted, you know? And I think that's the biggest lesson I took away was when I went back down there, I was so nervous and I had so much pressure that I put on myself that I didn't take enough time to enjoy where I was and just to learn how to enjoy being in the moment, learn how to not take those opportunities for granted because everybody doesn't get to experience that. So if I could go back, I would just soak it all in a lot more.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I appreciate it now because it's just here recently, and I just turned 49. It's just here recently, like a year or two ago, that I sat down and like, damn, I actually made it to the NFL, man. Because for years I was mad. I thought I was gonna be there 10, 15 years. You know what I'm saying? You get 2 years in, you be like, man, forget it. Then I get older. I'm like, damn, I really was able to be blessed and make it to that league, to that level. So that's something I want you to hold on to, and I'm pretty sure you are. So, but what are your career aspirations and your goals now?
Yeah, man. So I've been thinking about that a lot lately because when I was going into school, coming out of high school, I thought I wanted to be an orthopedic surgeon. Took biology, took chemistry. I said, nah. I said, I'm not trying to mess with that organic chemistry. So then I got into politics a little bit. I was a political science major. I was like, maybe I want to go into politics, maybe become president one day, right? I don't know about that one anymore.
Yeah, you might be a little bit too honest. I'm sorry.
I don't know about that one anymore, man, because I think politics is good and bad, good and ugly, that's everything, but it's a certain kind of lifestyle you live when you're in politics where you lose a piece of who you truly are. Yep. Whether you choose to believe it or not, you do. And I've been in that position before, going to the Naval Academy and having to code switch a couple of times, and I said, I don't want to do that anymore. Yeah. And so now, man, I love speaking, right? So I think I just want to be a professional, inspirational speaker, keynote speaker. That's how I want to live my life, traveling around, speaking to different schools, businesses, teams, whatever it might be, and probably end up coaching on the side, training kids and things of that nature. But I just want to be a speaker. Yeah.
How much pressure do you put on yourself, man, for being a up-and-coming, well, not an up-and-coming, already a magically melanated role model, not only for the people, the culture, but, for your family, man? How much pressure do you feel on you?
Yeah, I used to put a lot of pressure on myself, and it was bad. And I saw it in football a lot because I beat myself up. And playing cornerback, you got to have short-term memory.
You got that right.
Yeah, I saw that affected me on the football field. And honestly, up until I got out of Tampa Bay, went back into the Navy, I finally started to come around to who I truly am. And I had to realize that at the end of the day, the only person that matters is the man upstairs, right? And he's blessed me with this gift. He's blessed me with this ability. Now it's my job to go use it. I can't get caught up in what people are saying around me because that doesn't matter, right? They don't have that final judgment at the end of the day. It's between you and God. And so I had to realize I owe it to God to use the gift he's given me. And so I feel a lot of the pressure is going away now that I'm focusing on God and not focusing on pleasing the other people around me, because that was the biggest thing. I was trying to make everybody happy, this and that, but I said, I can't do that. I'm just human. And so now that I've let that go, I live my life a lot more freely now, and I'm able to have, honestly, more impact because I'm not worried about what other people are saying.
Oh, praises to the Most High. This is the gavel of approvalness and saluting. How many names this gavel got, Cass? It's a different name, but this is the gavel of I appreciate everything that you about and what you're doing, magically melanated royal. Anything else you want to add before we get out of here, Mr. Cam Kinley?
Man, I appreciate you for having me, man. I appreciate you for everything you do in the city of Memphis, because you see a lot of negativity that people say about the city, right? And I'm a big advocate. If you're not going to help the problem, don't talk about the problem, right? If you see it as an issue, then be a part of the change if you want to change the issue, because there's so much good that happens in the city of Memphis. It just doesn't get magnified on. My church is in Parkway Village, one of the biggest neighborhoods for crime. Last weekend, we threw a block party in Parkway Village. that wasn't going viral. That wasn't in the news. You know what I'm saying? So it's good that's going around in the city, but you got to be willing to be a part of it. So don't criticize Memphis when there's so much good going on. You know what I'm saying? Everything that you stand for. So I appreciate you bringing light back into the city, man, trying to get this thing turned around.
Appreciate that, young Royal. All praises to the Most High. That's going to do it for another great episode of the Doc Holliday Show, where we love to uplift black men, black woman, black teen, black child, black royalty, the magically melanated. Yeah, you said something. We out of here. I have to check, make sure he be tripping sometimes. Good job, man.
Appreciate you, bro.
This shit.